vampire!
Only 7 remaining. He makes his move. Young forces it up and in!
CC hasn't made a shot before that.
Pretty good so far here in the first half.
Lie. Oh, everyone for the Black Bears finding the bottom of the net.
Leaky with a big steal. Leaky for 3. That goes in. What a play!
Go right there, another block by Gelman.
Wide open is Regulus. Back-to-back triples for Mono Vampire.
Only 7 remaining. He makes his move. Young forces it up and in!
CC hasn't made a shot before that.
Pretty good so far here in the first half.
Lie. Oh, everyone for the Black Bears finding the bottom of the net.
Leaky with a big steal. Leaky for 3. That goes in. What a play!
Good evening, everybody. We are coming to you from inside the Santa Rosa Multipurpose Complex right here in Santa Rosa, Laguna in the Philippines. It is a Sunday evening here. Good to have you with us here. This is your ASEAN Basketball League season number 10, Rise to Greatness, and we have a great one for you guys on hand as the home team, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, now an 8-5 in the team standings, going up against the team from Vietnam, the Saigon Heat, who now stands at 3-9. We thank you for catching all of the action right now live on SNA HD, and also on the iWant app, on the iWant Sports section, different social media pages of the ASEAN Basketball League, and sports.abs-cbn.com. You guys have Martin Javier at your service for tonight's matchup, working alongside the one and the only Mike Reyes here, future girl dad, in the coverage here. Mike's, welcome to the coverage.
Thank you very much, Martin. An exciting matchup between two teams coming from different situations, as the Philippines, the Alab Pilipinas team is back at home and trying to bounce back after a nightmare of a game against the Kuala Lumpur Dragons, and the other side of the fence trying to build a little bit of momentum, talking about the Saigon Heat, as their season hasn't been going the way they've planned, but they're trying to get the chemistry going, especially with the new set of imports.
That's right. It has been a polarizing past 3 games for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, alternating the wins and the losses. On the other hand, Saigon Heat, as you mentioned, looking for their first winning streak of the season, Mike.
You talk about the Saigon Heat, like what we said, not really the way they were looking forward to the season. Right now at 3-9, last in the league, but like what you said, trying to go for back-to-back wins, and who knows if they can build up some kind of momentum and really, try to push for a playoff spot. You never know. As for the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, because of the loss that the Fubon Braves suffered just a little while ago in the OCBC Arena in Singapore, care of the Slingers, the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas has a chance to really make sure or stagnate themselves at the second spot here in our team standings.
Golden opportunity, as you mentioned, for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas here to solidify that position at the number 2 spot, to go up to 9-5 against the mighty Fubon Braves, who now sits at number 3, again beaten by Singapore on the road. And let's leave the conversation there first, and now let's go to our Coliseum announcer Tapuliano for the introduction of the teams.
Good evening, Hoop fans, and welcome back here at the Santa Rosa Multipurpose Complex in Santa Rosa, Laguna, as we bring you another Sunday showdown in the 10th season of the ASEAN Basketball League. This time it's the Saigon Heat of Vietnam taking on our very own San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Live via ABS-CBN, SNA, and Virtual Playground. And now let's meet the teams. First, the visiting Saigon Heat. Number 1, Samuel Thompson. Number 3, Quadron. Number 4, Vincent Nguyen. Number 10, Malcolm White. Number 11, Vo Kim Ban. Number 12, Justin Young. Number 15, Tyson Taylor. Number 20, Chris Durker. Number 23, Tom Din. And number 30, Tim Well. The head coach for the Saigon Heat is Kevin Yurkus. Assistant coach Matthew Van Pelt. Once again, the Saigon Heat from Vietnam. And now Santa Rosa Laguna, mga kaalab, make some noise! Get on your feet for our very own San Miguel Alab Pilipinas! And 6'3" forward, number 2, Jeremiah Gray. Also at forward, standing 6'4", number 3, Lo Domingo. Standing 6'5", at forward, number 4, Prince Williams. At point guard, standing 6 flat, number 5, Jason Brickman. Standing 6'7", at center, number 13, Shadi Rangel. And 6'3" guard, number 15, Jordan Heading. Also at 6'3", at forward, number 18, LV Louis Vigil. Standing 7'6", at center, number 21, I am Sam DeGuara. A 6'7" forward, number 24, BGR, Brandon Ganuelas Rosser. A 6'2" guard, number 27, AA, Aaron Abbott. Standing 5'11", at guard, number 30, Andre Karakis. And standing 6'7", at forward, number 55, Nick King. Head coach for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas is Jimmy Alapag. Assistant coaches are Mac Kuran, Eric Menk, and MC Avalosyon. Once again, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to call on stage Miss K.M. Oliveros. Please all rise for the Philippine National Anthem.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay, lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim, lupa ng araw ng luwal, hatid pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo, aming ligaya na pag may mang-aapi ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
At this point, both teams may proceed to the center court for the pre-game handshake.
Back to the coverage here inside the Santa Rosa Multipurpose Complex in Laguna in the Philippines to bring you the action in ABL 10. Rise to Greatness battle between San Miguel Alab Pilipinas and the visiting Saigon Heat. Good to have you with us. My name is Martin Javier, working alongside Mikey Reyes here in the coverage. On your screens are the two coaches from both sides. For the Philippines, of course, Alab Pilipinas, Coach Jimmy Alapag. And on the side of the Saigon Heat, you guys have Coach Kevin Yurkus and Malcolm White, in his fourth game with the Saigon Heat today, manning the center position here. But these two teams, Mike, as we mentioned earlier when we were discussing the team standings, coming off their respective games in Malaysia, Alab got beaten badly by the Kuala Lumpur Dragons. This was a 28-point loss against Dragons on the road.
Exactly, a nightmare of a game like what we were saying. And looking at Coach Jimmy Alapag earlier, as we all followed his basketball career, we know that he took this loss to heart, losing by 28 points against the Kuala Lumpur Dragons. As for the other team, the visiting team here today, the Saigon Heat, went up against the same team, but he got a victory. Won by 7 points, actually shot better from the three, plus 4 3-pointers in that game. And also their bench went to work with 19 bench points, along with 16 points off turnover. So a lot of defense was played there by the Saigon Heat. And guys like Jason Brickman will have to step up anew when they go up against Saigon.
That's right. Going into that game against Kuala Lumpur, Jason Brickman was on an offensive tear. Mike's averaging 24 points per game in the last two for Brickman before that game against the Dragons. But it was a different story when they faced Kuala Lumpur, one of the best defensive teams in the league. He was shut down offensively, and he was also limited in the department that he usually excels at, in which the assist department.
Oh, it was night and day for Jason Brickman between those two games. 32 points in their game against Mono Vampire, a career high for him. After all those years he's been playing here in the MPBL,
right.
in the ABL, he got a career high against the Mono Vampire. In their next game, like what you said, because of the defense of the Kuala Lumpur Dragons, held them to 2 points, a rebound, 6 assists, which is pretty good for a point guard here in the ABL, but
not Jason Brickman numbers.
Jason Brickman numbers, and the standards that you set with Jason Brickman, for sure he will bounce back here against the Saigon Heat. So knowing Saigon also, I'm sure they scouted Jason Brickman, and they will try to stop the point guard of Alab Pilipinas.
That's right. And on the other side here, the Saigon Heat, stopping their 4-game losing streak and winning a convincing one against the Kuala Lumpur Dragons. And one of the main reasons why is because of this guy, Tyshawn Taylor, in his 4th game, 3rd game with the Saigon Heat in that last game against Kuala Lumpur, and finally getting a victory in his stint with the Saigon Heat. But let's take a look at Sam Thompson here, very athletic. World import for the Saigon Heat, had 16 and 12. You know, he's 6'7", Mikey. He plays above the rim, but you know, in this league, he is forced to play the number 4 spot, which is not his most comfortable position, but he's slowly getting acquainted to that, and he's slowly getting more comfortable.
And for sure, he's going to be a matchup problem because we saw in those highlights, he also can shoot it from deep. Talking about Sam Thompson, like what you said, if he can continuously produce the way he did in their last game, along with their 2 other imports, then it's going to be a problem. And you know that the Saigon Heat can make that run late in this season to get into a playoff spot.
That's right, and a lot of offensive problems for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas against the Kuala Lumpur Dragons, and that includes, of course, 2 of the main gunners in this team, Sam Deguara and, of course, Nick King, who both struggled from the field against the defense of the Dragons.
Well, one of the best defensive teams, like we always say when you talk about the Kuala Lumpur Dragons. Not only did Jason Brickman struggle, but both are big guys also. Only 23 points combined for both players, 13 rebounds combined, which is very low for these 2 guys. Talking about Nick King and Sam Deguara, along with their turnovers, and also really struggling from the field, especially Nick King, only 6 of 19 from the field. So really a bounce-back game for all the players of Alab Pilipinas, and I'm sure they're well prepared and mentally prepared also for this game.
And the other world import for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, Prince Williams, well, had decent numbers against the Kuala Lumpur Dragons, but obviously, you know, 63 points on the road will not do it. On Filipinas, by the way, averaging just a shade under 88 points per game, and to score just 63, that's just out of character for Alab Pilipinas, Mike.
Oh, especially here in the ASEAN Basketball League, it's a import-dominated league, especially when you talk about Prince Williams, who was brought in by San Miguel Alab Pilipinas just a few games ago. Only 11.2 points a game, 4.3 rebounds, and 3.4 assists, and very much struggling from the field so far here in a stint with Alab Pilipinas. But, you know, we know his potential. We know that Coach Jimmy Alapag will not bring him in if not for, you know, the mentality that he has in terms of scoring the basketball. In any given point, he can really just explode. And you never know, maybe it's this game right here at home in Laguna.
Right here is Prince Williams on your screens. But, you know, for the Saigon Heat, it took them a while. But in their 3rd game together, Tyshawn Taylor, Malcolm White, and donning the Saigon Heat jersey. 3rd game, 3rd time was the charm. They finally got a win. And look at these numbers, Mike. And this is on the road in Maba Stadium in Malaysia.
As the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas big men were struggling against this team, these pair of big guys from the other team, the Saigon Heat, was dominating against the Kuala Lumpur Dragons. 21 points and 11 rebounds for Malcolm White. For Tyshawn Taylor, 18 points and 10 assists. These 2 guys right here, the outside-inside combination that worked in their last game against here in the ABL. I'm sure, hopefully, they can be consistent and make a push here in this season.
And stopping this guy is gonna be key for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Of course, Tyshawn Taylor, former NBA player, played for the Brooklyn Nets under Coach Jason Kidd when he was still head coach of the Nets. And for the Saigon Heat, well, it's unusual that we see, you know, massive bench production from this team, because we all know that they have a very short rotation, Mikey. But if you get 15 points coming from Chris Durker, that's going to be a big bonus, and that helped a lot in getting that win on the road.
Well, he really led the team in terms of bench scoring, talking about Chris Durker, and we all know what he can do. He played in the SEA Games. He's a no national player in Vietnam. 5.6 points per game so far this season, but in their last game, again, 15 points off the bench, 15 out of the 19 coming from Saigon Heat bench, coming from Chris Durker. And again, it's just all about consistency, because the potential is there. We've seen glimpses of what this team can do, and they can go for back-to-back wins for the first time this season against Team Alab Pilipinas.
And coming in, Chris Durker just averaging over 5 points per game, so that was his best game of the season so far for the Saigon Heat. All right, tip-off coming up next of this battle between San Miguel Alab Pilipinas and the Saigon Heat. We'll be right back right here on SNA. Back to the coverage here in your ASEAN Basketball League Season number 10, Rise to Greatness, live on SNA. As we take a look at starting unit here for the Saigon Heat, Free World Imports, Taylor, White, Thompson, joined by former VBA MVP and champion Tam Din, alongside another Vietnamese-American local for Saigon, that is Justin Young, also a part of the national team for this squad. On the other side, for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, usual starting unit for Coach Jimmy Alapag, Brickman, Gray, joined by the World Imports, the trio of Deguara, Prince Williams, and Nick King Mikes.
And both teams are trying to establish their presence here to start this game, especially Saigon Heat. The visiting team obviously would not want the sixth man or this crowd to get behind San Miguel Alab Pilipinas during this game, as you know, they get a lot of energy. They feed off the energy of this crowd talking about this Philippine team.
And our referees on your screens from Malaysia, Singapore, and Taiwan. We welcome you back to the coverage. We are here inside the Santa Rosa Multipurpose Complex on a Sunday evening right here in Santa Rosa, Laguna in the Philippines. And this is your ABL 10 Rise to Greatness first encounter of the season between San Miguel Alab Pilipinas at 8-5 against the Saigon Heat at 3-9. Good to have you with us. My name is Martin Javier alongside Mikey Reyes. Later on, we'll be joined also by the third member of our broadcast crew. That is Sydney Crespo, our courtside reporter. But here we go, first possession of the game here goes to the Saigon Heat. And Malcolm White missing the mark right away. And that gives San Miguel Alab Pilipinas their first chance of the ballgame.
And that's great defense there for Sam Deguara, just challenging that shot by Malcolm White.
Jason Brickman facilitating backcourt cut. Jeremiah Gray met up top by Malcolm White, and we got a wedgie here.
And Jeremiah Gray with some bad intentions to start this game off, but what a backdoor cut play. Their movement without the basketball and trying to put Malcolm White on the poster. In their first possession of this game is Jeremiah Gray.
And here's Gray again, this time pulling the trigger and knocking it down. That's a free-pointer for Maya.
He couldn't get it inside, he got him outside, and an extra point to boot for Jeremiah Gray, getting himself on the board here to start this game.
Good strip there by Nick King. Ball stolen away, ahead to Gray, and Gray jams it home. 5 quick ones coming from Jeremiah Gray to open the game.
And there you go, he gets his poster. Jeremiah Gray starting out hot here and very aggressive in their first 2 possessions.
And that's how you set the tone in this ball game if you're San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Thompson with a retaliation here off the floater. Gray still attacking. Good defense by Tam Din. Timed that perfectly to deny the shot.
Great defense there, and he knew that Jeremiah Gray was going to try to go all the way to the rim, as Thompson gets his first bucket just a possession ago, get this lead back down to 3 points.
And Tam Din also forcing the turnover on Gray. 1.5 gone here in the first quarter. White looking to challenge Deguara. White running hook is good. And that's a familiar shot from Malcolm White.
And he's also really trying to challenge the defense of Sam Deguara, getting the ball down low and attacking the rim.
And Alab trying to establish Deguara. Here, flips it up and in. That's going to be a foul in the finish for Big Sam.
There's really nothing you can do when you go up against a 7'5" guy underneath the rim like that, even against 2 red shirts. Just really carrying the load underneath, asking for the basketball. Just a little too deep there for Malcolm White, and Sam Deguara just muscling his way to this end one.
And look at that move. Sam Deguara had a deep position down low, took advantage of that matchup with White. Couldn't complete, though, the 3-point play.
And when you see Sam Deguara in personal, that's
Yeah.
the only time you
He's huge.
really understand how big he is, especially underneath that rim.
That's right. Thompson from the outside, back rims the shot. And here comes Nick King. King bringing the ball down. King kicking it out. Williams, known as a shooter in his first few games for Alab Pilipinas. They go back out to Brickman, who sets the table. Brickman pulls the trigger from straight away. That one is short. White gets the rebound.
But that's something you want to see from Jason Brickman. Even though he struggled in their last game, you want him still to be aggressive and be a threat on the offensive end.
Taylor, cross-court pass. Young stepped on the sideline, so that's a turnover for the Heat.
Great defense there for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, forcing the Heat to a turnover. And you got all the action here to start this game off. As we all know, both teams coming from different situations, like what we said, one team trying to go for back-to-back wins and the other trying to bounce back.
Brickman over to King. King attacks Taylor. King sidesteps and pulls his way to the hoop.
And that's just the craftiness of Nick King, just driving to the rim, using his body to shield off the ball from the defender and finishing the bucket.
And that gives Alab Pilipinas the 5-point lead. Tyshawn Taylor drops it in.
You got to come out at him when he goes for that ball screen. Talking about Sam DeGuara got to come out to Tyshawn Taylor for the three.
DeGuara! Sam with a slam!
Already a fan favorite here in the Philippines is Sam DeGuara.
The crowd erupting here in Santa Rosa. Nick King coast to coast. And Alab Pilipinas will grab the 6-point advantage.
And this is exactly the type of reaction you want to see from the Alab Pilipinas players entering this ball game.
That's right. The sixth-man, the crowd here in Santa Rosa getting behind the team early. DeGuara double-teamed. And that's a jump ball situation, and that gives us an opportunity to pass the ball to our courtside reporter, Sydney Crespo. Sid?
Yes, Martin and Mikey, you guys mentioned the offensive problems and turnovers of the Alab Pilipinas versus the KL Dragons, and Alab Pilipinas head coach Jimmy Alapag says it was exhaustion from a very tough stretch, playing 3 games in the same week, 2 of which were overtime that caused them to have poor execution and little energy in their previous game versus the Dragons. But this Pilipinas squad opts to focus on the good side of it, as Coach Jimmy believes that they can now give more emphasis on being sharp and finding consistency here in the second round. With his new import, Prince Williams, Coach Jimmy says they are still trying to have better camaraderie that will translate on the court. Prince Williams is expected to perform on a high level tonight, as Coach Jimmy described him to be a very good defender who can play multiple positions offensively that will ultimately help the team. For tonight, Alab Pilipinas is looking to start the game with much better energy to try and set the pace in this game, especially now that they are playing in front of their home crowd. What do you think about this, Martin and Mikey?
Thank you so much, Sid. We're still waiting for that explosion coming from Prince Williams. But I thought, they weren't able to match the intensity of the Dragons in that game, especially in the beginning when the Dragons got the 15-point lead after the first quarter, and they never looked back after that.
Especially playing on their home floor. And when you're the away team, you don't want that crowd to get behind the home team. So in that game, it was really just a struggle to get back on in the game after that 15-point lead. And also, I think the problem with San Miguel Alab Pilipinas this season, different from the previous seasons, is they don't really have a backup point guard to really help out Jason Brickman. Last year, you had a Josh Urbistondo, you had a Ethan Alvano, even a Paulo Havilona. These guys really helped each other out in terms of that position and leading that team. Right now, they really have no pure point guard to go right after Jason Brickman.
And point guards who also have experience, because those are experienced players that you mentioned, and especially Josh Urbistondo. Right now, backing up Jason Brickman are Andre Caracud, of course, Jordan Heading can also man the point guard position. So Brickman, being the primary point guard, has to carry that load pretty much most of the game. White loses possession. 3-on-1 break. Brickman over to King. King, bounce pass. Williams gets denied by Tam Din. Good recovery coming from the Saigon Heat. And they lose the ball again. Here comes Nick King. Back the other way, and he lays it up and in.
The aggressiveness of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, not only on the offensive, but especially on the defensive end. Getting deflections, steals, and really challenging each possession by the Saigon Heat.
Much better energy and intensity from San Miguel Alab Pilipinas to open the game, but that's going to be a foul on Prince Williams here, as Sam Thompson was attempting that jumper. Let's take a look at this replay. Gray getting the steal, and Nick King taking care of business on the other end. That allows Alab Pilipinas to grab and restore the 5-point lead, 15-10, as we go into this break. Back to the action. It is a 15-10 start. You guys are seeing the good-sized Sunday crowd here inside Santa Rosa Multipurpose Complex. And of course, Alab Pilipinas with a 5-point lead at this point, 4:43 remaining. And this is, they're showing their ability of forcing a lot of turnovers on the Saigon Heat and converting them into points on their side of the court, Mikes.
That's what we were saying, just really playing defense. and trying to get easy baskets on the other end is San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. And just the atmosphere here in Laguna every time they play, every time Alab Pilipinas shows up and competes here on the floor here in Santa Rosa, just the lively atmosphere and the crowd really going wild in each and every highlight play. And we've had a couple already here in this first quarter, in the first 5 minutes of this game. But this is the last thing you want to do, though, once you're trying to gain a little bit of momentum, is foul a jump shooter from the outside. So 3 free throws here for Thompson. Try to cut into this deficit and stop the bleeding also. It was just as they were trying to gain momentum, talking about Alab Pilipinas.
And despite, you know, all of the things that happened here in the first quarter, Heat still able to hang around, only down by 5 here. Sam Thompson on your screens, former Ohio State Buckeye. In his last year, he played with D'Angelo Russell with
Wolf?
Ohio State. Yeah, the new Minnesota Timberwolf. And Sam Thompson, that was his last year with Ohio State and the first and only year of D'Angelo Russell with the Buckeyes. Oh, and he misses the free throws there.
Three misses there for Thompson, so not really taking advantage of that opportunity to cut into this deficit.
So jitters at the free throw line for Thompson. Cross-court pass. Nick King puts it on the floor. Gray from straightaway. That one was halfway down, but it went out for Gray.
It would have been big there for Jeremiah Gray as he has cooled down after that 5-0 spurt.
And here is Tyshawn Taylor matched up against Jordan Heading. Taylor now, he's got Gray on the switch. Taylor to White, he's got that mid-range touch. That one is too strong. Brickman, back the other way we go. Jason Brickman, bounce pass to the corner, flips it out to King. They got a lot of time to work with here. Nick King looking, gets it to Deguara. And Tam Din on the help again, really bothering Deguara on the catch.
A great job there for Saigon. After that pick and roll play, they clogged the lane. They knew that Deguara was going to try to seal his man after that switch. And everybody just helping out and forcing that turnover. Ball will go back to Saigon Heat.
Still 15-10 here, 3:45 to go in the opening frame. Justin Young looking for a teammate, finally getting it to White. White against King. He likes this matchup. White on the short hook, no good. Felt like he was fouled there, but no call was given. Brickman is open, and Brickman knocks it down.
Just in rhythm. Jason Brickman already surpassing his total output in terms of points in their last game. 3 points in the first quarter for Jason Brickman.
And he gets it in his first bucket of the ball game. 18-10 now for Alab Pilipinas. Taylor pulls the trigger again. This one is too strong. King grabs the miss. Heading for 3 in rhythm. And he drops it in from deep.
You also got to commend Nick King finding the open shooters in transition. And that's the easiest three-pointer you can take, especially with everyone focused on Nick King.
And Alab Pilipinas starting to create separation. Thompson trying to bring it down. But he missed the dunk there.
He was trying to bring the house down, which ain't even his house right now, because Santa Rosa was going to go crazy after that poster attempt. But Jason Brickman from deep, just stroking it through. And you see the reaction also. He wanted that so bad to just get points on the board.
Missed his first 2 shots. Talking about Jason Brickman. So substitutions for Alab Pilipinas. Karakot Vigil now in the ball game alongside Lawrence Domingo and Brandon Canuelas Rosser. Heading from straightaway off to the right. Karakot gets it back. And wisely resets for the white shirts.
Oh, this is a challenge for Alab. This is an all-local lineup right now.
And who will be the focal point here on offense for Alab? That's going to be an offensive foul on Lodo Lawrence Domingo. So perfect time for the Saigon Heat to capitalize here.
Oh, they need to. They need to capitalize, especially all 3 imports are on the floor for Saigon Heat. And for Team Alab Pilipinas, they're going to have to rely on Lodo and, of course, Canuelas Rosser to man the paint.
Thompson attacking. And that's a foul on Lawrence Domingo. Hand in a cookie jar there.
Right away, Thompson seeing the smaller Andre Caracot, trying to attack him right away, carry him or bring him all the way to the paint. Look at this, just really trying to man up on Andre Caracot. I think the foul was on Heading.
Yeah, Jordan Heading. Correction called for the foul that time. Thompson, who went empty in his first trip to the free throw line earlier, knocks down his first. Coach Kevin Yurkus on your screens, also the head coach of the Vietnam national team that placed third in the 3x3 and the 5-on-5 in the last Southeast Asian Games. So 21-12 here. And that's why the locals here, have familiarity already before joining the ABL this year. Heading gets denied by Durker, and Thompson picks it up. Here comes Tyson Taylor. Taylor getting the hop. Taylor hang time, no go. A lot of contact there, but the refs let it go. Domingo spinning, bothered by Durker. Canuelas Rosser no good on the putback. Here come the Heat. Taylor sidesteps, counted plus the foul for Tyson Taylor.
And you see the skill of Tyson Taylor. Just really the concentration and the skill set. Look at that Euro around Louis Vigil and the finish and the flex. Tyson Taylor making his presence felt here in the Philippines. Once played for the Brooklyn Nets.
Former Kansas Jayhawk as well. And remember that viral video of Jason Kidd getting bumped by a player?
Yeah.
And then spilling his drink? It was
him?
Tyson Taylor who bumped Coach Jason Kidd. That was him. If you search it, Tyson Taylor, Jason Kidd.
I remember that.
That's
fondly,
the first
but
video.
I didn't know it was him.
Yeah, it was him.
Because the focus on the video obviously was
Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd.
That was when Jason Kidd was trying to buy time, and he told Taylor to hit me. 21-15. Bit of a fight back here by the Saigon Heat. Over a minute remaining here in the first frame. Domingo, quick spin, puts it up and in.
You got the patience there for Lawrence Domingo. And he had to outwit Chris Durker there because he has that height disadvantage and that quick drop step and the hook shot.
Taylor spinning, flipping it up. And that one was a wild one. Wild shot coming from Tyson Taylor. Caracot, Domingo, over to Canuelas Rosser inside.
Oh, that's a great fast break play there. A secondary break between the three locals, Caracot, Lodo, and Canuelas Rosser for the finish.
Taylor to the corner. Young, no. And Lawrence Domingo corrals the rebound. Here comes Louis Vigil. Stops on a dime. Doesn't have the numbers. He will reset. But a 5-second differential here between the clocks. Caracot has Taylor on him. 9 seconds to work with. Caracot for three. No. Rebounded by Thompson. They have time here. Taylor to the corner. Durker fakes. Fires. Too strong for Chris Durker. And that's going to be it for the first 10 minutes of action.
What a way. What a way for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas to finish that quarter off, and they finished the quarter with a 10-point lead, but that start by Jeremiah Gray really gave the whole team the energy they needed to win that first.
And also kudos to the second unit of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, that local second unit that was able to hold the fort and still maintain the 10-point lead going into the second frame here. 25-15. Tyson Taylor scoring the basket there. And again, the guys like Canuelas Rosser, Lawrence Domingo, Andre Caracot, Louis Vigil coming in and maintaining that energy for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas for them to be able to carry the 10-point lead going into the second frame. We'll be back after this. Back to the coverage. It is San Miguel Alab Pilipinas against the Saigon Heat. And you see here the supporters of the home squad, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. And our smile cam, not sure if they see themselves on the big screen here.
They don't know.
That's why they're not smiling. All right. Second quarter almost underway, and Alab Pilipinas again will carry the 10-point advantage here. You guys are joined by Martin Javier, Mikey Reyes, and Sidney Crespo, our courtside reporter here. And Alab Pilipinas, a hot start here, Mikes, and of course also getting the job done defensively, holding the Saigon Heat to 31% shooting.
Just great basketball on both ends for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, as Malcolm White again tried to challenge the defense of Ganuelas Rosa.
That's a good scoop for Malcolm White, able to get by Ganuelas Rosa that time. So 25-17 here. Let's see if the Saigon Heat can manufacture a run with the locals still on the floor for Alab Pilipinas. Jordan heading. Lost possession. It will be maintained by Alab Pilipinas with 10 seconds to work with.
Oh, what a few months can do. Watching Andre Caracal as we look at this move here by Malcolm White. The dribble, the fake, and the step through, and the finish for the Saigon Heat import.
Vigil.
I was talking about Andre Caracal because I was just watching him to start the second quarter, and what a few months can do from guarding someone like Matt Nieto, guarding June Manzo in the UAAP. Now he moves on to guarding a former NBA player in Saigon Taylor. So a lot of. I'm sure he's
a big jump.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's just being a sponge here, especially being able to play for Coach Jimmy Alapag, Coach Macau, and guys like Nick King, you know, veterans, just a lot of experience on that bench. And the kids, so, well, somewhat kids in terms of this roster right here, along with Louis Vigil. It's really great to see them putting in work and really producing for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
Yeah, first professional league for Andre
Right
Caracal.
away.
Yeah, right away, correct. And you're up against Tyson Taylor here on the other side. Durker, Nguyen. Sends it out to Durker. Step back three. Durker short. Had the best shot there for the Saigon Heat. Vigil. Against White. Vigil too strong on the banker.
That was a great move though, trying to create separation against the bigger Malcolm White, just missing the gimme.
And it is with Tyson Taylor. 12 seconds to shoot. Taylor against Caracal still. Taylor looking to dance, stops his dribble. Here comes Thompson. 4 seconds to shoot now. Thompson on the fade. And again, Alab Pilipinas with very steady defense that time.
Great individual defense there for Andre Caracal and Jordan heading, just really forcing their men to take tough shots.
Vigil. Off the screen, Vigil forcing one up, and again draws the foul against Nguyen.
Oh, he saw that mismatch. He recognized the mismatch. Talking about Louis Vigil going up against a smaller Nguyen underneath. Look at that, the patience just waiting for Malcolm White to really leave the picture and using his body and fishing for that foul. Louis Vigil, former UST Growling Tigers, or former Jerry Light Bomber, also played for the San Miguel Beermen.
I think he once scored 80-plus points, didn't he, in the juniors division?
72, 73, if I'm not mistaken.
70
That was his
plus.
teammate. He scored 89.
Oh, okay.
The following year, he scored 72, 73 points. And so you know that he's a bucket getter.
That's right.
Louis Vigil, and that's the role that he's really taking coming off the bench for Coach Jimmy Alapag.
Looking to lead, of course, this local unit of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Thompson. Driving, sending it to White. Floater in the lane. It's good for Malcolm White. 27-19 now. Here's Jason Brickman. Brickman, what a pass inside to Lawrence Domingo.
That's how Jason Brickman makes highlight plays. Look at that pass.
Yeah.
That wraparound bounce pass to an open Lodo underneath the rim.
That's a good tap by Sam Deguara to get the steal. Lawrence Domingo denied up top by Thompson. Nguyen bounce to Taylor. Taylor thinking about it. Sends it to the corner. Nguyen too strong.
That's a great possession though for Saigon.
Ooh! Brickman breaking ankles here. Here's the lob inside, and Big Sam taking care of business.
Oh, he just had to finish that off with a slam. Talking about Sam Deguara. But Jason Brickman putting his guy in skates, putting his guy in the highlight. You're probably going to see that in ABL's Instagram page in a few minutes.
Brickman taking over here and putting on a show in the second frame. I'll be back after this. Back to the coverage, and I think we are about to see a couple of plays by Jason Brickman. Coach Aris, di maunahan in attendance here.
Look at this, Jason Brickman just
This was the dish.
toying with the defense, getting Dirker up in the air and leaving it off for Lodo. Look at this!
Ow! Oh! And that was off the spin as well. Brickman lobbing it up, and then Sam Deguara got the deep position inside. Jason Brickman with back-to-back highlight plays for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Didn't need to score. He was the one who facilitated those plays.
And that's how he plays. Talking about Jason Brickman, just one of the top point guards for the ABL in numerous seasons now.
Right.
Playing for different teams.
And Sam Thompson, ooh! Jeremiah Gray got to him, but a foul was whistled.
Oh, Jeremiah Gray's not going to let himself be on a poster. He's trying to get someone on a poster.
Yeah.
But look at this great backdoor play there, though, for Thompson. But Jeremiah Gray trying to meet him up top. Got a lot of hand there. That right hand. Oh, okay. Maybe not so.
Yeah.
A lot of ball.
Just a tiny bit. And Sam Thompson here with a couple of free throws. Biggest lead for Alab Pilipinas, by the way, earlier, 31-19. As we take a look at the kids from Children's Garden, all the way from Antipolo City. They're here watching live, of course, watching their basketball idols. Yeah. From where we came from.
Yeah. We know how far that is.
They go all the way to Laguna, just to witness their idols live. Yeah. Over 3 minutes gone. Brickman. Pick and roll action with Nick King.
That's another assist there for Jason Brickman. And as long as he stays a threat, he's going to get that attention off of that pick and roll, and he can easily give that pocket pass to Nick King for the finish.
Brickman continues to annihilate the defense of the Heat. Here comes Thompson, pull-up jumper. Too strong, Nick King with a board. Over to Brickman. Brickman, back to King, threads the needle. Although King couldn't finish. Deguara inside, Big Sam, bothered by White. Here comes Gwen. White, one dribble in, off the glass, no good. And King tracks it down. Vigil is open. No good. Ray tried to go for the follow-up ball, ending up with Deguara. And that's a foul on Thompson. But almost a highlight play earlier by Jason Brickman.
He's had a couple already here in this game. As we look at Sam Deguara hustling for the basketball, getting entangled there with two red shirts. Ball will stay with them.
Aaron Aban is in the game for the first time. Hasn't seen a lot of action in the season so far. And again, he joined Alab Pilipinas coming out of retirement this year as Nick King steals one away from the Saigon Heat off the inbound.
San Miguel Alab Pilipinas blowing this game wide open. Up by 14 now, halfway through the second quarter, and just all momentum really on their side.
White, Thompson falling down. White will attack, runs into Deguara. High off the glass, goes out. And Big Sam collects the rebound. Over to King, wide position against Young. King quickly attacking and scoring plus the foul.
Just a mismatch down low for Nick King.
12 points now for Nick King, and let's now go courtside again with Sydney Crespo. Sid?
After snapping their 5-game losing skid, Saigon Heat head coach Kevin Yerkes is positive that his team is in a good position right now. Banking on their better chemistry and defensive efforts in the previous game, Coach Kevin knows that they have a good chance of winning more games in the second round. However, that's not what we saw in the previous quarter, and in Coach Kevin's own words, he says, "We're walking and Alab is running." He's talking about the impact that he's still looking for in this game. So Coach Kevin asks his players to keep pushing, especially on defense, and he's expecting his local Vietnamese players to push themselves and show themselves more in this quarter. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Sid. Well, it has been a tough schedule for the Saigon Heat because they had to catch up with their games here because they started the season late. They had to catch up. They had numerous games in a week, and this is their second straight game on the road. Second game out of 3 days on the road against Alab Pilipinas here in the Philippines.
Really
Yeah, but they're trying to, work things around here. And we take a timeout first, called by Coach Jimmy Alapag. We'll be back after this. Back to the coverage. Kiss cam. There you go. That's how you do it. Oh, now they see themselves on the big screen. Come on, you gotta take this opportunity. What? No
Not
kiss?
tonight. Not tonight.
There you go. This is a
There
happy
you
family.
go.
Yeah. Sharing a kiss. That's how you do it. Spread the love. Here in the coverage. All right, one more on. We got 3 people here. Okay. Ooh, just a high
Set of
five.
friends. I think it's a set of friends there. But again, the atmosphere here just lively here in Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
Even though this lead has ballooned up to 13 points, you know that Saigon Heat has the potential to get it back in this game. So San Miguel Alab Pilipinas will continue to stay wary and stay aggressive, in trying to add on to this lead.
Taylor earlier scoring for the Heat, cutting the lead down to 13. And here is Jason Brickman. Has been spectacular here in the first half, sending it to King. Brickman back to King from 17. King off to the left. Aban with the offensive rebound. Brickman pulls the trigger. No good, and that ball goes out. Back to the Saigon Heat.
Still a great possession there for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, getting 2 quality shots. One off of that pass from Brickman to King, misses that, but Aaron Aban with the hustle, although they didn't get any points from that possession.
You love the action from the veteran, Aaron Aban, and Tyson Taylor are starting to heat up here.
The shooting over the smaller Jason Brickman. That's a good IQ play there for Tyson Taylor.
Taylor's got 11 points in the ball game. King again taking it strong off the glass for 2.
And he continues to be aggressive after struggling in their last game against Kuala Lumpur, only scoring 13 points, 6 of 19 from the field. Here in this game, Nick King has really shown us all the moves that he has in the bag.
And Tyson Taylor off the screen. That's going to be off. Nick King over to Gray. Gray back outside to King. They got time here. Brickman squares his feet. And still off on those long bombs is Jason Brickman. Taylor. Young attacks. Young, no good. Teguada toying with the rebound there.
That's the easiest rebound you're ever going to see in basketball.
Big Sam getting there. And here comes Brickman. King attacking Young. Ooh! That's an elbow to the face of Justin Young there.
Got him over the above the shoulder there. Talking about Nick King on this drive, using that offhand to try and shield off his defender. Right there, getting him on the jaw. I don't think he needed to sell that call.
Yeah. That was a legit reaction coming from Justin
no
Young.
Acting there.
That's right. Tamdin back in the ball game. Also Chris Durker. Justin Young to the bench of the Heat. Thompson pull up Jay. Still struggling here. Williams over to Brickman. Lobs it up to Teguada. Teguada backs up. Big Sam, short hook is good.
Just has like 6-7 inches on Malcolm White. And again, you got to push Sam Teguada out of the paint even before he catches the basketball. You got to do early work against this guy, because once he gets it down low and that deep, it's over for you.
And he has been taking advantage of that situation here as White misfires on the mid-range J. Williams again to Teguada. Teguada losing the rock, and a turnover for the White Shirts.
Saigon Heat was just fortunate in that possession. Again, they find Sam Teguada way in too deep. Look at this, just one dribble against 3 red shirts. Doesn't really matter as he just skies it off of or over Malcolm White.
Didn't even see the hand of Malcolm White there. 39-26, or 41-26 rather. Tyshawn Taylor. Saigon Heat setting it up here. Taylor attacks, floats it up. Here comes Jeremiah Gray. Off and running, 4-on-3. King puts it on the floor, fakes the pass, sends it to the corner. Williams, no. Oh, Gray snatching it away from Durker, and that leads to a three-pointer coming from Jordan Henning, and King steals it away, and then puts it up and in. A quick 5-0 blitz for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas to stretch the lead to 20 points here, 46-26. We got a timeout on the floor, under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. I'll be back after this. Rolling here in the first half, grabbing their biggest lead off the game at 20 points. Look at that. Smiles all around. This is not a kiss cam though.
Just a smile cam.
Trying to steal a kiss
Trying
there.
to steal one before Valentine's Day. We're
that's
6
right.
days away.
Yeah.
6 days away from Valentine's Day. You can wait.
Yeah. Valentine's Day coming up. Just a quick reminder. There you go.
All ages enjoying.
Correct. Filipinos
Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
from Santa Rosa, Laguna. There you go. Quick smile here. Flashed on our big screen. And right now, a lot of reasons to smile here for the home crowd. San Miguel Alab Pilipinas takes, again, their biggest lead off the ball game at 20 points, 46-26. Tam Din! That bounces out, but Tam Din will get 2 opportunities at the line.
Well, that's a good play there, drawn up by Saigon Heat off of that timeout. As we look at a new face on the floor.
Chadi Rangel, former NU Bulldog.
A lot of college standouts here in this team.
And this is Tam Din, a local MVP in the local league, VBA, in Vietnam. As you see, White here alongside Tim Whale, and also a VBA champion. They're probably the best local player that they have on this team. 1 out of 2 on that trip. Prince Williams looking on, sending it to Heading from the other side this time. I'll clean the lid. Durker ahead to Taylor. Taylor with an easy 2 points on the other end.
Way to run out there for Taylor, trying to get easy baskets, and great outlet pass also from Durker, getting his eyes up right away and finding his teammate for the easy lay-in.
And Saigon trying to turn up the pace here, trying to get quick points before we end the first half to make it a more manageable advantage going into halftime. Alab Pilipinas has the rock. King, the spin, the shot, and the basket for Nick King. He has 16.
How deep is your bag, Mr. King? 18 points in the first half, outside, inside. Doesn't really matter. 12 in the second quarter alone. Really starting to heat up, or not even starting yet. He's already he's already hot. Talking about Nick King as we look at this fast break play here between Durker and Taylor. But Nick King again on the other side. Look at this, just getting deep into his bag, finding a way to get this through the net. 18 total points, 12 in the second quarter.
And you see the confidence, Mikey, that he can take on the world imports of the other team.
Well, he knows that he has that advantage, whether it be skill-wise or height-wise, or even his heft, because he's really, every time he attacks the basket, he goes in strong.
That's right.
And uses those 2 steps to his advantage, getting an easy look at the rim.
And the Saigon Heat, they've missed a lot of free throws in this game. Sam Thompson going 1 out of 2. He's got 10 points. 18-point lead for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Under a minute remaining in the first half. Back to the game here. 18-point lead for the home squad, San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, and the kids from Antipolo City from Children's Garden. It is a home for former street boys 12 to 18 years old. They exist to provide a safe place and enhance the quality and productivity of their lives through physical, mental, and spiritual and emotional empowerment, and it's good to see them here watching live. And of course, it's such a different experience if you watch live basketball games, Mike.
Especially watching, their idols. I'm sure they've watched Andre Caracot, Louis Vigil, even Aaron Aban. But being able to watch the likes of Jason Brickman, Nick King, Sam Deguara for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of them will try to enter the floor and take photos with their idols to finish this game after this game.
Getting a lot of inspiration here in this matchup. Williams attacking and scoring on the lay-in.
I think that was Williams' first field goal here today.
Yeah. His first 2 off the ball game. He gets the rebound on the miss. And Williams stops on a dime. About a 6-second differential between the clocks. ALA Pilipinas with a 20-point lead here. And Williams has Young on top.
Oh, he wants to clear out.
5 seconds. Williams, he has to shoot. Williams ran out of time. So 7.2 remaining in the second quarter.
Not the best play to finish the half for San Miguel ALA Pilipinas, but they still have one more possession here, defensive possession to make a stop.
Taylor coast to coast, and that's what he is capable of doing. Tyson Taylor attacking and drawing the foul on his way up, so a couple of freebies coming up here for Tyson. And Vincent Nguyen checks in for Sam Thompson. On the other side, Andre Caragut will replace Prince Williams. 3.2 left. ALA Pilipinas will still have, time to get a shot off in the next opportunity. And again, Saigon Heat, their woes from the free throw line continuing.
Wasted opportunities here for Saigon, especially being down by 20. Every point matters. Just try to bring it down, like what you said, to a manageable lead.
Gray, the heave, too strong. And that's going to be it for the first 20 minutes of action of this matchup between the San Miguel ALA Pilipinas and the Saigon Heat. As we take a look at the highlights, and one of many spectacular plays, Mikey, of Jason Brickman in that second frame.
Oh yeah, just really playing with the defense of Saigon Heat. As we look at different players really trying to score, but this guy right here, 12 points in that second period, wherein ALA Pilipinas really blew the game wide open. And now entering the dugout with a 19-point lead and a lot of confidence, especially coming from this guy, Nick King.
And we had identical quarters, 25-15 in the first, 25-15 in the second, and a more favorable lead for San Miguel ALA Pilipinas going into the halftime break. They lead it by 19-50-31, and we'll be back for halftime stats analysis. And of course, the numbers right here in your ASEAN Basketball League season number 10 on SNA. Play basketball.
Oh yeah, it's more.
Mike, it's for a bigger purpose.
Oh yeah, it's more than the game itself. It's really just to inspire the younger generation, which was the primary goal of the late, great Kobe Bryant, who inspired all of us, not only in basketball but in other facets of our life. And to be able to inspire these young kids coming all the way from Antipolo, going here, not only giving back in terms of what they're giving him in the materials, like the bags that they gave out, talking about San Miguel ALA Pilipinas, but putting on a show.
Right.
Leading by 19 at the half to start this third quarter.
I mean, the kids were already enjoying. That's just a bonus for them, the bags that they were given to them at the halftime break. All right, second half underway here. And just a quick lull here on the confusion of that inbound. So Nick King, Jeremiah Gray, Sam Deguara, Jason Brickman, and of course Prince Williams. Starters for San Miguel ALA Pilipinas still here in the second half. Same with the Saigon Heat with Justin Young, Tam Din, Sam Thompson, Tyson Taylor, and at the center spot you got Malcolm White.
It's going to be a very crucial first few minutes here in this third quarter, especially for Saigon, because the intensity that they come out with here in the second half may dictate if they can actually get back in this game or even make a game out of this, possibly get back-to-back wins on the road.
Down by 19, first possession though for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas here as we are trying to sort out some technical difficulties. I think it's with the shot clock here. So 19:55. Just 5 seconds eclipsing here in the third quarter. And again, first possession for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. And good bounce back performance so far at least. Let's see if they're able to maintain that here in the last 2 quarters. Deguara. Gray catch and shoot. No good. And a rebound goes to Taishan Taylor.
That's a great find though for Sam Deguara, right away kicking the ball out as the double team was coming to play. Just unfortunately, Jeremiah Gray not hitting that outside jumper.
And here is Taishan driving behind the back pass. White floater. Too strong. And rebound goes to Big Sam.
That's the Sam Deguara effect on the defensive end, changing shots, altering those supposedly easy baskets.
And this is the Sam Deguara effect on the offensive end, sidestepping and then scooping it in.
Woo. Those are long strides there for Sam Deguara all the way to the hoop.
And that's the first 2 points of the second half here. Thompson short on the three-pointer. Rebound ending up with Williams, and here comes Prince Williams. Steps back, pulls the trigger, no good. And ball tapped to Justin Young, who gets the board. 52-31, and Malcolm White breaks away.
And that's one way and try to negate Sam Deguara is to outrun him. Malcolm White just sprinting rim to rim, getting that open dunk. First bucket of the game of the half for Saigon Heat.
And expect a fast-paced game here as Jeremiah Gray, another fantastic cut there to get the bucket.
And that's a great read there for Jeremiah Gray and great find for Prince Williams.
Thompson getting the separation and the teardrop to go in. So quick back and forth in the first 2 minutes of the third quarter. Alab Pilipinas still maintaining the 19-point advantage. They will lob it up inside. Deguara going deep and going river style that time.
Again, just too deep for Sam Deguara. And you gotta love also the patience of the big guy, just regaining his balance and finishing the play off.
And Sam Thompson with a quick retaliation for the Saigon Heat. That was like a grown man against children inside. Big Sam again looking for the ball. He's got position on White. Deguara, ball is stopped. Big Sam still has it. And foul on the floor here as Malcolm White gives it up.
Like what you said, man amongst boys, but not in this play though. This is all skill for Sam Deguara all the way to the rim around Malcolm White. On the other end, Malcolm White answering back with a slam. And on the very next play, again, the movement without the basketball, Jeremiah Gray cutting to the rim for the finish. And again, just great basketball coming from San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, sharing the rock.
Well, things getting chippy here. Tamdin, Taishan Taylor, and Nick King getting tangled up off the inbound. But cooler heads will prevail. Let's take a look at this sequence. Tamdin getting in there. And King not liking the contact from Din. 2.5 gone in the third quarter. Prince Williams sending it to Gray. Extra pass to the corner. Brickman floats it up. Gray getting a hand on it, but ball goes out. And Saigon Heat getting it back.
Again, that's the hustle of the other guys talking about when you focus on Nick King, especially those 18 points, Sam Deguara, obviously the guy down low. The other guys like Jeremiah Gray, Aaron Aban, Andre Caracot, Lodo, every time they're on the floor, just really trying to get extra possessions for their team.
Just fulfilling their roles in this rotation of Coach Jimmy Alapag as Brickman stops here against Taylor. Deguara gets double teamed right away, triple teamed now. And that's another foul against the Saigon Heat. This one will be given to Tamdin.
Really nothing you can do when Sam Deguara gets the ball down low. Already 3 guys were on him.
Yeah.
Every time he gets the basketball, 3 guys are on him. So they really just need to find a way and negate Sam Deguara.
Now they're sending the triple team here to Big Sam.
And also you gotta commend the guards of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas really trying to find their big guy.
Right. Correct. Getting him some confidence and of course some touches down low. Gray, short. Taylor to Thompson. Thompson saw the opening, ball stripped. And last touch on Sam Thompson as we go courtside with Sydney Crespo. Sid?
As per assistant coach Eric Meng, Alab Pilipinas is moving the ball a lot better now compared to their last game, which makes their offense effective in the first half. Coach Jimmy Alapag is trying to challenge his guys to reach that consistency level, good enough to win games confidently. And he also mentioned that their depth and flexibility to let other guys play will be their advantage in this game. Now for the second half, they are expecting to continue their good defense, especially their efforts in rebounding. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Sid. Well, this is San Miguel Alab Pilipinas in their top forward as Gray rises down the middle for the flush. 60-37. San Miguel Alab Pilipinas with their biggest lead of the game.
Zero out of 3 for our cameraman on that segment.
We got a lot of shy people here in Santa Rosa. All right, 60-37. Brickman to Gray. That time, pass was too high.
Look at this, though. Keeping his head up. Jason Brickman at all times, and Jeremiah Gray taking flight here in Santa Rosa. A couple of posters already for Jeremiah Gray here today.
And Saigon Heat looking to answer here. They've been struggling to begin the second half. Malcolm White stopping, sending it out to Taylor. 2 seconds, they need to take it. Thompson too strong, rebounded by Deguara. Almost halfway done here in the third quarter. Deguara fakes the handoff. They go back to Brickman. Nick King, who has 18 points. Good anticipation by Thompson. Taylor on the acceleration, and he goes coast to coast.
That's what he needs to do. Talking about Taylor, just really trying to be aggressive and try to, take over in this game, especially offensively, because they're not really successful in finding points here in this quarter.
And this is another open shot. Although Gray airballs that one. Bounce to Taylor. Taylor sending it to White inside for a two-hander.
That's 4 fast break points in a row for Saigon Heat. Again, negating the size of Sam Deguara, making him or forcing him to run in transition.
All 3 world imports for the Saigon Heat in double figures now as Nick King gets to 20 points with that bucket. 62-41. And again, Saigon Heat, just exchanging baskets here with San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, unable to get stops. Taylor. Ooh, Tam Din bumping into Gray. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Din, a turnover for the Redshirts.
Again, that's the hustle of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas on the defensive end as we look at this drive here by Taylor, going all the way, finding a smaller brick one in front of him. That jelly, the extra. And that feed to Malcolm White for the slam on the very next possession.
And Alab Pilipinas will have an opportunity again to stretch their lead. Williams. And this is a counter offensive foul called against Canuelas Rosser. So it's a turnover for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas off this screen. Yeah,
it's a little too much there for Canuelas Roster. I don't think there's any debate on that foul.
That was a clear push on Brandon. Taylor finding White. Laser pass. White, though, couldn't convert.
And that's a great recovery there for Ganuelas Rosa. Challenge that shot by White.
Oh, Nick King out of control there. Ball goes back the other way. 3-on-2. Thompson hopping, scoring down the lane, and he gets the finish and the foul.
And the Saigon Heat has really had success in those transition situations. As we look at this pass by Taylor, the playground hook pass to Thompson for the finish and one. And that's what they need to do. I mean, it's easier said than done. Push the basketball as quick as you can, trying to find easy points, especially now. Again, this all-local lineup, well, other than Prince Williams, is back on the floor with Andre Caraco, Jordan Heading, Ganuelas Rosa, and Lodo. So we're going to see how Saigon Heat can take advantage of this with Nick King, Jason Brickman, and also Sam DeGuara on the bench.
But this lineup has done a solid job in holding it down for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. And they're able to sustain again the energy and the level of play that was displayed by the starters of the home squad. Lodo spins, runs into a wall, Heading pulls the trigger and hits the target.
Jordan Heading has been low-key on target all game long. I believe that's his third or fourth three-pointer here today. Third three-pointer to be exact. So Jordan Heading just really a threat from the outside off the bench.
He's got 9, and Thompson with a quick answer here. And that's been the theme for the Heat. Ahead to Rosa for the jam! Posterizing Thompson that time!
Running the floor, Ganuelas Rosa getting a great ahead pass and finishing it off. Another highlight for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
67-46. Taishan, he's got Karakot here. Good bother by Karakot there. White, though, gets it back. Taken away by Domingo. Here comes Karakot. Heading. Back to Andre. Andre. Ooh, too strong. And ball goes to White. Went to Taylor. Taylor using the left hand. No foul whistled. Referees letting them play here as Heading puts it on the floor. 1:54 remaining in our third quarter. Prince Williams backing up. Williams will attack. Oh, slip, slides, and turns the ball over.
Oh, too much there for Prince Williams as Louis Vigil completes the all-local team on the floor right now. We'll see how they can compete here in this second half. As the way they did in the first, though, they really made their mark in this game and really made their presence felt.
And these are important minutes given by Coach Jimmy.
Well, I'm sure Coach Jimmy is asking them to maintain the intensity, but in that first half, they actually even added more to lead, the lead that the first group built to start the game.
That's correct. Here's Young breaking away and scoring with his offhand. And that's going to be a foul in the finish. Another one coming up here for Justin Young. Quatran in the ball game now for the Saigon Heat. Let's take a look at this find by Tran, and then Justin Young blowing by, Heading that time and scoring the hoop.
Just a quick drop step there for Young. And obviously Jordan Heading is not one of those guys who are used to defending in the post.
Yeah. That time it's Young with a wider body taking advantage of that mismatch. Here is Louis Vigil. Heading. Back to Heading here. 12 seconds to shoot for Alab Pilipinas. Domingo from the free throw line. Banks that one home. Wow. It is a Sunday, 9 p.m.
When it's your day, it's your day. San Miguel Alab Pilipinas just really finding different ways in scoring that basketball.
Thompson, 4-3. That's his first three-pointer.
And Saigon Heat has also found the mark here in this third quarter, but on the defensive end, being unable to make stops has really been a big problem.
And that could be the start. They forced the turnover right there on Louis Vigil of the excellent defense by Quatran. This was the play earlier. Lawrence Domingo, unsure if it's intentional.
He's going to act like it was.
Yeah. And Thompson with a quick answer on the other end. That's a three-pointer for him. He's got 22 to lead his team here.
I think there's a lull here because the referees are talking about that last possession by Louis Vigil. I believe the ball was tapped out of bounds, but nevertheless, the ball will go back to Saigon Heat, down by 19 points still.
So Quatran will set the table for the visiting squad. They go to Chris Durker. Out to Quatran. Off to the right, rebounded by Heading. Here comes Jordan, and wisely backs up and resets the offense of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. No need to rush, time on their side. About 4-second differential between the clocks here. It is Heading against Young. 5 seconds now for Vigil to operate. Fadeaway shot, too strong for Vigil. 4 seconds for the Saigon Heat. Nguyen on the layup to beat the buzzer. And the Saigon Heat will get the last basket of the third quarter, cutting the lead down to 17. And let's take a look at the action here. San Miguel Alab Pilipinas coming out with the same energy, same intensity that enabled them to maintain their lead pretty much the entire quarter. But the Saigon Heat, they stayed with it. They started to chip away. Guys like Sam Thompson started to come alive. 22 points for Thompson, 12 in the third quarter alone, and that jam by Brandon Canuelos Rosser pretty much telling us the story of this game so far. 71-54 for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas going into the fourth and final frame. Welcome back inside the Santa Rosa Multipurpose Complex right here in Santa Rosa, Laguna in the Philippines, bringing you the action in the ASEAN Basketball League Season number 10, Rise to Greatness, battle between San Miguel Alab Pilipinas and the Saigon Heat. 8-5 Alab Pilipinas, Saigon Heat with a 3-9 record into this matchup, joined by Martin Javier alongside Mikey Reyes, and of course our courtside reporter Sidney Crespo here. Slightly better and encouraging third quarter right there, Mikes, for the Saigon Heat to be able to trim the lead.
Well, they can build on that here in the fourth quarter, but two imports on the bench, but the other one who is on the floor right now with that putback slam to start the fourth and final frame. That's the biggest way to start a quarter for you, especially trying to catch up.
And that's the ideal start for the Saigon Heat here in the fourth quarter. Again, just exchanging baskets with San Miguel Alab Pilipinas in that third. So Sam Thompson rather up to 24 points now in the ball game. Here he is again. Well, challenge floor, guys. Thompson gets it back up and in. On the putback right there, an N1 opportunity here for Thompson.
And Thompson just putting this team on his back during the latter portion of the third, and here to start the fourth. Look at this, not giving up on the play all the way from the outside, getting in, taking flight, and finishing that highlight play off. And on the next possession, great stop there for Saigon. And Thompson, again, just pushing the basketball, going all the way to the rim for another end one.
Making things happen here for the Saigon Heat. And they're trying to make a push here in the fourth quarter. Just down by 13, 71-58.
I'm sure Coach Jimmy was trying to wait a little bit more, give his starters a little more rest.
Yeah.
But right now he has to bring their guys in and just to make sure that they can regain momentum.
Brickman left it short, and Thompson gets the rebound. Here come the Heat again. Nguyen over to Durker in rhythm, blows by Deguara. Durker unable to finish with the left. That was a good chance for the Saigon Heat to cut the lead. But Alab Pilipinas instead sets up on the offensive end. Williams flips it out to King. Brickman. Deguara here trying to establish position. Big Sam carving space. And that time drawing the foul again. And this is going to be against Sam Thompson.
Same situation, same result for Sam Deguara against three red shirts here, really trying to clog the lane. Are the Heat.
Yeah.
Just a little too big, a little too strong. It's Sam Deguara, but his free throw shooting will be tested here. 2 free throws and no problem on the first.
And easier said than done, you know, crowding Sam Deguara Mikes because of his heft, his height, his length. And Big Sam played for Hong Kong Eastern, played for Mono Vampire before they played in the finals against Alab Pilipinas just a couple of years ago. And now with the Philippine team here. Thompson. Oh, that's a turnover for the Heat.
That's another wasted opportunity there for Saigon as they were just starting to gain a little bit of momentum. There's still a 14-point lead for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas.
Brickman. White shirts looking to capitalize. Brickman stop shoots. Too strong on the three-pointer, but Gray snatching the offensive rebound. Brickman. Williams puts it on the floor. Leaner is off. Deguara fighting for it. It ends up with Thompson. Quatran. Oh. Good poke right there by Jason Brickman on the crossing Quatran.
And Saigon is starting to go under the ball screen on Jason Brickman, knowing very well that he has been struggling in hitting from deep, forcing him to take shots from the outside rather than him slashing through the lane and creating for his teammates.
And here's Brickman lobbing it up. Big Sam. Oh, Durker got the ball there, forcing the jump ball situation.
Oh, that's a stop there for Chris Durker, although the possession arrow is in favor of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. But look at Chris Durker.
Yeah.
And Chris Durker is not a small guy.
Nope. 6'8" with that kind of body. Matchup though with Sam Deguara here. Here's the lob again to Sam off the inbound. Sam, a couple of fakes, stayed a little bit long and was called for the travel.
A little too long there for Sam Deguara. Coach Jimmy Alapag, who knows a thing or two about being that tall.
Right.
Telling Big Sam to just get up and finish the play right away. Took a little too much time in the paint there.
You love it. You know, 5'8" Jimmy Alapag teaching Sam Deguara
how it's done.
Yeah, that's right. Williams for three. Too strong. Durker tapping it to Nguyen. And here comes Vincent Nguyen. Nguyen pushing it. Sending it to Quatran here. Quatran against Gray. 16 seconds to work with. Cross-court pass. Thompson is open. Thompson, no good.
And Saigon still with Taylor and Malcolm White on the bench with 6:45 remaining in this game. So
this is an interesting decision coming from Coach Kevin Yurkus.
But it's been working though. I mean,
right.
They've been making stops. They've been trying to push the basketball. They've been sharing the rock a little bit better.
Quatran goes deep. Durker from straight away. Ooh, in and out. Brickman. Durker with a steal. Flips it out to Thompson. Watch out. And Thompson jams it home. So the Saigon Heat on a surge here to begin the fourth quarter, shipping the lead. And now let's use this opportunity to go courtside with Sidney Crespo again. Sid?
You know, Martin and Mikey, before coming into this game, Coach Kevin Yurkas wanted to address their poor effort from the previous games, but in this game tonight, he's still waiting for that energy he's trying to look for from his guys. He told his players to show their patience on defense, especially that Sam Deguara is on the floor. He says it's critical for them to win games in this round, so they need to do it now. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Sid. They're trying to find, or he's starting to find that energy of these locals on the court, but Jeremiah Gray, again, adds to the woes of the Saigon Heat here. Upping the lead back up to 15. Thompson couldn't answer. Young getting it back. Too strong. Thompson skying high out of nowhere to get that putback.
Sam Thompson hasn't really found his shot here today, but he has found other ways and also just hustling to get loose balls. And another extra possession there in the bucket for Sam Thompson.
Sam is up to 30 points now. And we got a whistle away from the ball. 3-second violation called against Sam Deguara. So he's going to be replaced here by Lawrence Domingo. So the counter small ball lineup by Coach Jimmy Alapag here as we take a look at Justin Young on the putback. No good, but Sam Thompson snatching the offensive rebound and places it back in.
Trying to up the speed as Coach Jimmy Alapag. As what we said, Saigon Heat has been really pushing the basketball and trying to find easy baskets.
Durker off the curl. Still off the mark here. Not a good follow-up game for Durker after scoring 15 against Kuala Lumpur. Here's Nick King. King on the turn. King getting fouled there. 2 free throws coming up.
Almost an end one there. Where Nick King was somewhat gone cold in the second half after an 18-point first half. But here putting Chris Durker in a highlight play in terms of skill. Again, the patience of Nick King. The shimmy, the fake, using his body again to shield off the defender. As we look at Sam Deguara getting dinner, I believe, on the bench. That's a big guy. That's a big guy.
Now? Okay.
That's a big guy.
In the fourth quarter with 5 minutes remaining. But Nick King takes care of 2 free throws. He is up to 27 points or 26 points for Alab Pilipinas here. And Justin Young moving the ball very well, or moving without the ball very well. That time scoring on the lay-in. Here's the pass, and that play set up by Quatran to the cutting Justin Young, who places that one in. 64-77.
Again, player movement, ball movement. We've seen glimpses of what Saigon Heat can really do if they put their foot on the gas pedal. But I believe they've just found themselves in too deep a hole here in this fourth quarter, even though they've played a lot better in the second half. That 19-point lead entering, or that 19-point deficit entering the second half was just too much for them. But another extra possession here.
Another chance for the Heat here to inch closer. Quatran sending it out to Nguyen. Moving closer. Oh! That is well anticipated by Gray. And Jeremiah Gray wisely waits for his team. He gets it to Brickman. King. Karakut. Sending it to Gray from straight away. In and out for Jeremiah.
That's a quality possession though for San Miguel Alab.
Thompson will challenge Domingo. Thompson up. Short. And here comes Karakut. Karakut to Gray. Back out to Brickman here. 4 minutes remaining in the ball game. Alab Pilipinas with a 13-point lead. Trying to get their 9th win of the season here at home. Gray. 2 seconds now. King bothered. And that's going to be a shot clock violation on Alab Pilipinas.
Shot clock violation.
Better defensive sequence coming from the Saigon Heat.
Oh, that's great defense for Saigon, forcing San Miguel Alab Pilipinas the 24-second shot clock. But one thing that went for Alab Pilipinas in that possession was that's 24 ticks off the clock here. 3:45 remaining with this 13-point lead. They just really need to maintain and sustain this lead.
And Quatran, wow, going all the way to the cup.
That was a quick move there, quick cross on Andre Caraco, and the finish for Quatran.
So both teams going with 4 locals and 1 world import on the court. Vigil sending it out to King. King puts it on the floor. That's going to be a foul on Sam Thompson. Sam did not like that one. Take a look at this move. Ooh. Quatran on the crossover, blow by, and the bucket for the Saigon Heat.
Showing us his bag here. Quatran with a quick cross.
Brickman forcing that one up and in.
I believe that's Jason Brickman's 5th point of the game, along with his 12, 13, 14 assists.
Tran here answers right back.
This kid can compete.
Yeah.
In recent years, we've seen him put on great performances off the bench. Talking about Quatran.
That's right. Including 3x3 5-on-5 here in the Philippines, as Nick King is called for the travel. And this is the window that the Heat has been looking for in this ball game, Mikey. A chance to trim the lead to a single digit. Let's take a look at this basket first by Jason Brickman, and then answered by Quatran on the other side. Quatran, yes, on the free-pointer. 79-71. Saigon Heat all of a sudden back in this game, just down by 8, 2:25 remaining in the contest.
He knows what he can do. He can put points on the board in a hurry. Look at this first quick cross on Andre Caraco, going all the way to the rim against 2 smaller guys. The next possession, look at that, 2 steps and using the bank on that floater. And here, just a little too much space as he was already heating up. Quatran, 7 quick points for the point guard off the bench.
Saigon Heat. This is the closest they have been in a while in this basketball game. Again, Alab Pilipinas led it by as many as 23 points earlier. Brickman, 5 seconds to shoot. Well contested by Durker. Thompson with a strong rebound there. Quickly to Quatran. Durker back out to Tran for 3. No, Durker gets it back. Under 2 minutes remaining in the game. Chris Durker inside. 6-point game.
Oh, wow. Saigon Heat. Where was this team? Where was this intensity in the last 3 quarters? Or in the first 3 quarters. But Saigon Heat, just a totally different team in this last few minutes.
It has been a 19-8 quarter for the Saigon Heat. Alab Pilipinas trying to counter. Caraco for 3. No. And a rebound. Ending up with Louis Vigil. Who pulled out the smarts on the smaller Nguyen that time.
And that's Filipino basketball at its finest. Louis Vigil, quick instincts there to make sure he saves the possession. And San Miguel Alab Pilipinas needs to find better shots here as they have settled with outside jumpers. But Coach Jimmy Alapag sending in Sam De Guara as he will be matched up against Chris Durker.
So let's see, only a 2-possession game here. And 12 seconds on the clock of San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Brickman has space here. 5 seconds now. Domingo puts it on the floor. Domingo gets fouled. That's not going to count. Foul was on the floor.
Yeah, on the floor. I think that was a reach from behind. Turned out to be a good foul, as he was already beat on that drive by Lodo. This is the foul right here. Could be a basket there, but that was a judgment call by our referee. So another chance here for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas to ice this game with 1 minute 11 seconds remaining.
King has it. Crowd cheering on. King for 3. In and out. And Nguyen, smallest guy on the floor, getting the rebound. Heat on the attack. Durker for 3. No. Young battling for it, but it ends up with Jason Brickman. A golden chance right there for the Heat. Missed. Ooh, a travel on Nick King on the other side.
Costly turnover there for Nick King.
So
we'll still go back to Saigon.
And that's coming up after this break. We got a 6-point game here in the Philippines.
Before they take a shot, because that just means San Miguel Alab Pilipinas can just milk the clock. So this is definitely a 2-for-1 situation for Saigon Heat.
So Thompson, Quatran, Thompson blowing by. Oh, Thompson missed it, but a foul was whistled. 2 free throws coming up.
Oh wow, just a few inches on that miss for Sam Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh, he needed that bucket more than anything. Look at this though, that quick move here to get Lodo on the floor.
Oh,
almost. Good foul for Lodo, just because Thompson didn't make the shot, but 2 free throws for Sam Thompson, who has 34 points.
And Thompson at the free throw line here. Not the best day for him at the free throw line, 7 out of 12, but it drops in an important free throw to cut the lead to 5. Another one coming up here for Thompson. Pressure packed shot. Two out of 2. And we got a 4-point game here in Santa Rosa. Deguara checks in, replacing Brandon Ganuel's roster.
Big offensive possession here for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. First thing they need to do is really get across half court.
There's a pressure applied by the Heat, and they quickly get it to Brickman. King, Deguara on the breakaway jam!
And that's the risk you take when you pressure the basketball from 94 feet, is leaving the big guy wide open down low. Great passing for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, in which they've been doing very, very well here in this game compared to their last one, to share the basketball. 3 players touching that rock, ending with a jam by Sam Deguara.
But Alab Pilipinas not yet out of the woods, Mikey, because the Saigon Heat, if they get a quick bucket here, they still have a chance.
One more stop. That's what San Miguel Alab Pilipinas needs, and we'll see where Saigon Heat goes to.
Ball in the hands of Quatran. Leaner is short. And Jeremiah Gray with a huge rebound right there.
And there's the stop they were looking for, but the hustle of Chris Durker forcing a jump ball, but the possession arrow pointing their side, so the ball will go back. Another chance for them to cut into this deficit. 24.5 seconds remaining.
What a sequence for the Heat. Nguyen Sending it out to Thompson. He pulls the trigger. And again, short on the corner triple. Durker, no good on the putback as well. And this will pretty much seal the deal for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. As Nguyen gives up the foul, Jeremiah Gray heading to the free throw line for 2 freebies.
You got to commend, though, the effort of Chris Durker. Another extra possession there created by him, but just the miss on the putback. So 2 free throws for Jeremiah Gray, who started this game on a 5-0 personal run, can put the final nails on this coffin and secure a victory after, again, that forgettable loss against the Kuala Lumpur Dragons on the road.
And Maya Gray, 13 points now. A welcome local production from San Miguel Alab Pilipinas. Another one coming up here for Gray. 7-point lead, 16.6 remaining. Too strong on the second, but Domingo snatching the rebound. And Alab Pilipinas, well, they were looking to melt the clock, but Williams stepped on the timeline there, on the half-court line.
Look at this, right there. Try to outsmart the refs.
Oh, Durker with a lot of emphasis on that missed jam. But San Miguel Alab Pilipinas will secure solo second in the ASEAN Basketball League season number 10 team standings. They go up to 9-5 after this big win, a bounce-back win against the Saigon Heat. 82-75 is the final score. Saigon Heat go back to the losing track here and will carry a 3-10 card from here on forward. All right, later on we'll meet our best player of the game after our short break. Back to the coverage. San Miguel Alab Pilipinas moving up to 9-5 after this win at home, 82-75 against the visiting Saigon Heat. 3-10 record now for the Heat, who goes back on the losing track. And let's take a look at, and let's go to our best player rather of the game. It's time to meet him. Here is Sydney Crespo. Sid?
Yes, Martin and Mikey, I'm with our player of the game from Alab Pilipinas. We have Nick King with 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. Nick, you guys were able to get the much-needed bounce-back win, and you guys entered this game with a dominating energy. But what do you think helped you guys to have a better offense tonight?
We just played as a team. You know, we came out, we knew we had to be aggressive coming off a big loss. You know, just came out as a family, played together, made the extra pass, and we knocked down shots early. We got out in transition early. We got stops on the defensive end, and everything began to flow.
Now, Nick, like I said, you delivered 26 points, but 18 was from the first half. What fueled you to perform this well in this game?
Just my teammates. You know, my teammates came out and told me, you know, I had to be aggressive for us to win, and, you know, I just came out, trusted in them, got them going early, made a lot of good passes, and they knocked down threes, and everything just became to open up for me.
All right, thank you so much. Once again, congratulations to you, Nick King. That's our best player of the game. Back to you, Martin and Mikey.
Thank you so much, Sid. And well-deserved recognition right there, Mikes, for Nick King. All-around performance tonight and a good way to bounce back after that rough game against the Dragons.
And also you have to commend the other players who really stepped up
Jason Brickman again created the offense or created situations for his teammates with 14 assists across his name, and also that bench, that all-local team who really held their own against the Saigon Heat. But like what you said, this was an all-important win for San Miguel Alab Pilipinas, and looking forward, they will go back to Malaysia and go up against Kuala Lumpur, in which again they suffered a 26-point beating just a few days ago. So that's one game that they will probably look forward to. And then they will go and go up against Saigon Heat in back-to-back games, one here in the Philippines and another in the CSI Arena, Saigon in Vietnam. So an all-important schedule, an exciting schedule for the San Miguel Alab Pilipinas team, especially heading into the latter portion of our ABL.
All right, Alab Pilipinas solo second right now, and on behalf of the entire broadcast team, my partner Mikey Reyes and our courtside reporter Sidney Crespo, our game producer Mark Morados, and of course our director Direct Al Neri. This is Martin Javier saying thank you, good night. We'll see you in the next game here in your ASEAN Basketball League season number 10, Rise to Greatness, only on SNA.
Open is Regulish. Back-to-back triples for Mono Vampire.
Only 7 remaining. He makes his move. Young forces it up and in!
CC hasn't made a shot before that.
Pretty good so far here in the first half.
Lai, oh everyone for the Black Bears finding the bottom